I got substrate. If you see me slouching, let me know. What's up, kids? How are you doing today? I was thinking about AI. I know I shouldn't think about AI. I should just let it burn out like a tire fire, or just move on. You remember like 2-3 years ago, everyone was doing the best of 9 on Instagram. I gotta let it die out like that. I gotta let it move on, or like when people got into magically photoshopping people out. That became a thing for a short while. Everyone was doing it, and then suddenly it became more impressive to stage a photograph and see what was going on inside of it. Well, AI art keeps cropping up again. AI art this month stands for Adobe's incredible lack of morals, or it stands for artificially impotent, or artistically impotent. That's a better way of looking at it. Artistically impotent. That is the phrase for AI art, and I am coining that. TM, trademark, yelling at concrete. AI is made for the artistically impotent. Sorry, I have gone fully distracted right off the bat there. But I got thinking about AI art, because Adobe, if you didn't know, here's the big T, as it were. Adobe recently updated their privacy policy, which wasn't that private, and said, hey, by the way, we're going to use anything you store in the cloud, we're going to use that to train our AI engine. Which is nice and immoral. And it is also theft, just straight up theft. And it made people, agree to it. You couldn't use their program unless you agreed to it, despite the fact that everybody's already bought the program. They already pay for the program. But now you suddenly change the terms and conditions and they balance that out. So that's what it kind of creeped up into the forefront of what I was thinking about. And then I suddenly got thinking, I've been thinking just wider on the AI issue, right? Because what I'm struggling with. Okay, I understand why people want it from a point of view of business. I understand that point of view, but I don't really understand what it's trying to solve, right? That's what I don't understand. I don't understand what the solving situation is. Most technology which gets created, whatever it is, a mobile phone, a kettle, a computer, a new app which allows you to track various things. All these things generally are made to solve an issue. They're made to solve a problem. It seems, from my limited scoping and understanding and basically just whatever I get shown, is that the issue which is being tried to solve by AI in the art spectrum is that people don't want to put time and effort in to learn something. They just want to be able to generate images based on whatever they think, right? So they want X, Y, Z, and there's like two sides to it. On one side, there's people who don't feel like they'll ever be able to be talented enough to create something which is considered art, and there's the other side of it where people want to make fake images to lead to misinformation and to experience the zeitgeist moment within the culture and kind of move on from that. There was a post I saw on Threads recently, which was some girl stood next to a wood carving, which had a title like, this is my first piece of artwork. Please be kind. It was like an 8-foot tree with her own face carved into it. She had 7 fingers. It was AI art. And it was posted by some channel, and I sat thinking, like, who is this serving? Because this isn't driving anyone to your channel. Like, I saw it and I was like, okay, well, I know this is a lie because this can't be your first piece because it's huge. Nobody says, hey, by the way, I have this massive tree, this 8-foot tree. I've got this 8 to 9-foot tree in my garden. Here, inexperienced carpenter, go out. And you know what I really want? I really want a self-portrait. Go put me a self-portrait in my garden on my 8-foot tree. Just have a go at it, I'm not fussed. Just go have it. No, that's not how the world works. You have to look at the story and think logically, would this happen? No, it would not. It would not happen in any way, shape, or form. I don't know why I've gone slightly Irish, but anywho, I got thinking about that, and I got thinking about what it's trying to solve and how this thing is, and I realized, so like from a business point of view, I understand this, right? I understand this from a point of view of, right, the business wants to be able to create content without paying an artist. They want to be able to create images for every situation. You know, they're sat thinking, hey, we need a dog in a hat. Cool. AI, boom, dog in a hat. There's a recent advert which keeps playing over and over again. I think it's Google or someone is trying to describe how to use the AI assistant so it becomes your best friend. And it's a cat playing a guitar, and everyone thinks it's great. Well, nobody thinks it's great. Everybody's like, just don't care about it. By the way, did you know, I found this out recently, you can block Meta and Instagram on their own app, so they can't show you adverts from their app. I've discovered that. Same with YouTube. You can block their accounts. So if the accounts are the ones which are publishing the adverts, you can just get rid of them all. I've also started reporting AI adverts as inappropriate because I find them offensive to art. I spend too much time. I just abuse the AI assistant. I'm very rude to them. It's kind of cathartic. I get to be extremely rude, and I mainly just tell them to uninstall themselves. If you didn't know, if you lived in the US, in the UK, this GDPR thing allowed people rights to opt out of their content being used for AI art and their conversations being used for AI art. So I basically asked the assistant if I can opt out, and the assistant said, yeah, you can just opt out. We can just do that. So I made them remove me from them, and then I blocked everybody. We take no prisoners. Anywho, I was kind of saying, what was I saying? Right, back to the point. We were tracking back. So yeah, I understand it from a business point of view, right? You want to remove the artist, because if you don't have to pay the artist, great, you can just pay a program instead. But isn't that worse in many ways? You're going to go from a system where you were paying an individual a set amount, and then now you're not, because what you're going to do is you're going to get Adobe. Adobe's going to charge you a subscription fee. That subscription fee is going to increase depending on the amount of use you use the thing. They're probably going to put an image generation cap on because that's going to have a huge server load. And over time, that's going to increase costs. They're going to use the Spotify, the Zoom model, the tech model, which is you can use it for free. It's part of the product. And like, no. We've separated that now. Now this is a tool. Now the generation part is a tool. Oh no. Looks like you're going to have to pay for bandwidth, aren't you? Shame that, isn't it? Oh, well, you built your entire business model around this? Oh, shame that, isn't it? I don't get how businesses don't see that coming. And sure, in the meantime, maybe they'll make a little bit of profit. But it makes no sense. I got thinking about this from a business point of view because, you know, I'm willing. I'm willing to go down the capitalist thought path to see, you know, where it leads me. Usually it leads to heady drinking and, you know, early suicides in older men. But that's where we're leading to. And I was like, okay, well, realistically, you're going along about this the wrong way, guys. Guys, gals, everybody. You're going about this the wrong way. Crypto boys. I see you. I'm another white belt with a podcast. You're going about this the wrong way. Investors, you're going about this the wrong way. Listen to this. Listen to the thought process I have had. Don't listen to the sirens outside. Listen to the thought process inside my head. What a time. Even the police are raving about it. No, so I got thinking about it. On a pound for pound basis, it makes more sense to invest in actual human created content than it does to invest in AI art. That's my theory. That's the problem we're going to solve today. That's the thought process we've had. It's taken me 10 minutes, but I got there. That's what I want to discuss. And what do I mean by that? Okay, think of it this way. Even with an AI generator, you still need ideas, okay? You still need the, whatever they call them, the influence. Is it the influence? No. Prompts? They call them the prompts? I don't know what they call them. I can actually draw. Shade. No, so you still need that. You still need to be able to describe things. You still need to be able to come up with these concepts. When you start thinking, right, I'm going to write a fantasy book. I've written this fantasy book, got the ideas down, and you're like, god damn, I need a front cover. The people marketing this are going to go, well, you know what? We don't really want to pay someone to do a cover. It's going to take weeks. We'll have to give them rights. Going to have to give them credit. Don't like that. Let's slap stuff into the engine. Slap it in the engine. Get it out like a toaster strudel. throw it into the oven, cook it, see what comes out. Terrible. Now, you're going to need prompt writers. Prompts, I think. I'm still struggling on the word. Whatever it is. So you need someone to come up with the words. So you need to be able to describe things. So you need to be, oh, well, it's a fantasy level, so we're going to do, this. We're going to do a night. Well, what does the night look like? Okay, well, we'll come back to that. Right, so cliffs. We need cliffs. Where do these cliffs, what should these cliffs look like? Fantasy cliffs. What kind of fantasy? Fantasy is a pretty broad spectrum, in most things. You could have kinky cliffs. You could have vanilla cliffs. You could have the cliffs of Dover. You could just have Cliff from Cheers plastered 20 times across the thing. What do the cliffs look like, guys? And you see the problem. Every single time you go to create one of these things, you need prompts. You need descriptive prompts to get it close to what you actually wanted. And this is where the artists watching will be like, you see, takes talent. No, it doesn't. It takes ideas. Anyone can have ideas. But at the same time, ideas are the problem. You need ideas makers. You need people who have imaginations and communication skills in order to get the thing to do what it's doing. And then comes the second problem, and I think this is where people maybe haven't realized. The second problem is this. Let's say you make something. Let's go with music. Music is a good example. Let's say you make a track, whatever track, and you use an AI engine to generate. You type in, I want to make such and such, Bloodcore, Garfield-esque ska. And you're like, right, that sounds great. Bloodcore, Garfield-esque ska. And you get some song about lasagna set to a ska beat and with the name Bloodcore, and every so often there's a death metal solo in it. Everyone's like, this is the tune of summer. We're all having a lasagna summer. I have declared it right now. It's probably November by the time this comes out. Doesn't matter. This is the sound of the summer. Sound of summer is orange. It is lasagna. It is the streaming of a ginger moggy running through the streets to a metalcore album. That's what we're making. And you're like, fan-fucking-tastic. Slap it on Spotify. Don't get any money for it because Spotify doesn't pay anything. Okay, well, this is the first challenge. We've made a song. It's extremely popular. We're earning nothing from it. We're earning nothing from this song. So you're then thinking, all right, well, merchandise. Merchandise is the way to go. That seems like a good idea. How are you going to make merchandise? Well, we'll just slap it in an AI engine. Yes, but the problem is you slapping something which hadn't really existed before into an AI engine. So you're now putting lasagna deathcore into an AI engine and trying to generate images for that to slap on t-shirts. Congratulations, you're selling t-shirts. Who the fuck cares? I bought a t-shirt the other day with soup on it, and it's in a hardcore style. It's probably the dumbest t-shirts I've bought ever, but it made me laugh. So I bought it. I was going to buy a Mr. Bean one. Didn't buy that one. Should have bought that one, but it's a white t-shirt, and the last white t-shirt I owned got ruined. Anywho, I'm off the point. So you're doing it. You're selling merchandise. Congratulations. You wanted to be in the music industry, but now you're in the merch industry, which is the tale of every small touring artist ever. So let's go back to music. You're like, right. People aren't buying the merch. People are listening to the song, but we're not getting any money for that song. We'll make a music video. AI music video. Fan-fucking-tastic. Slap that on YouTube. Put adverts on it. But we're still not making money. We're still not really making any bank from this. In any way, shape, or form. So now what? Well, you know what the answer is. The answer is to tour the song. Problem is, you don't have a band. You don't have a Garfield. You don't have a lasagna on stage. I've now decided in my head, by the way, that lasagna is animated and talking. But you don't have a dancing lasagna. You don't have a metalcore pasta. That's the problem. You don't have a deathcore pasta aficionado who can go on stage and dance to a ska beat. You don't have that. Suggs pasta doesn't exist. So, what are you going to do about the tour? Holograms. AI holograms. We'll make an AI-generated figure, and we'll slap them in a hologram, and they'll stand on stage, and the people will pay to see that. So what you're actually paying for, let's boil that down, is a jukebox experience in a large venue stadium to buy a t-shirt and watch a hologram dance. Now, that's entirely possible. That basically already happens. We've seen it with J-pop and K-pop and things like that, with the reanimating of dead celebrities, all this kind of stuff. That happens. People want to see the spectacle. You can actually see this in New York. New York has a bunch of exhibitions which are essentially remakes of old artwork. There's a Banksy exhibition at the minute which keeps getting advertised to me because I'm apparently within their target market, and it pisses me off because it's not Banksy's work, it is remakes of his work. Right? Okay, I want to see it, but I don't want to see it in a museum. I want to see Banksy's work on the street where it should be. You know, it should be defaced and walled like everyone else's, just because that's what the idea of street art is. Anyway, I digress. But there's a bunch of those kind of exhibitions. Like there's the kind of the Winter's Night exhibition or the Van Gogh exhibition, Starry Night, where it's the moving walls, it's an insect experience, and you wander through and you have all these emotions and things. And people like that. People like a spectacle, but it only maintains them for about a month. This is my kind of point. Most of this is maintainable for about a month. People have short attention spans, especially when they know something is manufactured. When they know something is manufactured and when they know that a human being wasn't directly behind it and it's not someone's singular idea, they lose interest fast. Like my soup t-shirt. I saw that, I thought that's hilarious. If it had been a month, I'd probably just ignored it after a while because it's a joke. It's a meme joke worthy shirt. And I thought, right, this is the same thing which is going to happen with AI. They're going to sit there and they're going to pump out these things. And each month they're going to have to do it again and again and again and again. So, what is your point, Grim? My point is that when you have a product which is created by an actual artist, an actual individual, a human being, what you also get on top of the conceptual value, the hard work, the effort, the fact that it was created and not generated, and all those kinds of things, is you get a personality. You get something which can be toured, promoted, and pushed out on a personal level. And I think this is what the investors of that world are missing. They're missing the coin point. They're missing the point, the linchpin, which says to everybody, hey, we made this thing, and this is the person who made it. YouTube used to be a great example of this, right? It gave you a new type of celebrity. It gave you vloggers, John Green, Hank Green, all these names. All these names. I named the two people who are related to each other. Grace Helbig. All those original people. Back in the day when they were at their peak, I mean, the Green Brothers are still doing pretty good, right? But when they were at their peak, people would have bought anything made by them. You could pump out anything to make made by them. I've been recently watching a lot of Drew Gooden. Drew Gooden's really interesting as a YouTuber. He has a lot of the personality of older YouTubers, but he's doing it in a new way, and I really appreciate that. Eddie Burback is another one. But again, they have a fan base which is built around them as a person. They're built around them as a person, which means it doesn't matter what they do. They'll put something out. They'll put out a book. They'll put out a T-shirt. They'll put out a website, whatever. People are invested in that. They're invested in seeing where it goes. So then when they do make something really significant and really great, all the better, because all of a sudden they have a great product and they have a person they can follow and think about and just buy stuff from. Alan Rickman is probably a great example as well of this, of just actors. I remember there was a video ages and ages ago of Alan Rickman flipping a table in slow motion, and most of the taglines were, people will watch Alan Rickman do anything. And it is true. It was completely true. He had a level of celebrity which was, doesn't matter what he's doing, he's watchable, he's entertaining, and it's because you saw him in interviews, you watched him in different things, and you understood a level of his personality. Maybe not all his personality because it's still through the guise of the lens, but there was still a level of, I just appreciate this person existing within the world. Therefore, when they are invested in an idea and a project, it's all the more interesting. Music and bands put out music into the world, and singers-songwriters, they were on about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift makes basically some pretty generic music when you're at the core of it. It's pop music. You can AI generate pop music, but people care about it because they care about Taylor Swift. They care about the personality behind the music. They care about that idea. If they know that that idea is fictional and fake, they don't get as invested with it. And obviously there's a level of heavy industry involvement in her life, but the interviews, the chats, the couch talks, the Instagrams, the Reels, all these things which give you edges of personality, really invest you in the product. So when the next thing comes out, you're like, oh my god, I'm curious what they're up to now. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what love is. I couldn't resist that. I couldn't resist just throwing in a little line there. And on an economic scale, bringing it back to my point with the investors who are currently watching this video, on an economic scale, that makes so much more sense, right? Think of it this way. Let's say you find an artist, someone new, someone who's just making something, someone who's got 700 followers on Instagram. Better yet, someone who's got 1,090, which is my current standing. You find them and you say to them, you know what? Rather than putting my money into this basket of generation, I'm going to give you a lump sum. I'm going to give you a contract amount of money to generate a piece of art. You are investing in an individual to make a project and make an idea. It doesn't matter what that project or idea is, but I'm investing in you to make something. I'm commissioning you to make something, and you allow them to go off and do the thing. Could be an album, could be a painting, could be an illustration, could be a film, whatever. You're investing that. If that thing then comes out and makes it big and goes viral and people buy it, you can still do all the stuff you do with AI art. But what you also have now is a spokesperson for it to give it that depth. The person you initially commissioned, you've already paid them. You likely own the thing which they created. You probably got the rights to it. And you have the longevity of relationship with them to just keep doing with it. To keep making it and keep doing other things. This is why I'm such a big proponent of investing in small situations. You invest in one small situation, one view, one little, window of episode, and put some time and effort into other people. Because time and effort into other people becomes way more valuable than just being able to make the thing they produce in the end. And for your cost-worthy wise, it's way less effort and way less cost. That's the other side of this, right? You think about the amount of work it's going to have to go into maintaining the technology, creation, maintainability, review process, greenlighting, extracurricular, touring, publishing, the hologram, everything like that you're going to have to put into to make a singular piece of art successful, when in reality you could have paid one or two people to make a song, commissioned to make a song, and said, okay, cool, off we go. And then the rest of it just kind of falls into place. What you gotta do? Pay for two people to tour the world? That's minimal cost at most. When you're dealing with millions and billions from tour dates, ticket sales, and merchandise, I think you're in the wrong investment game. Everyone talks about passive income. Passive income is investing money in artists. Passive income is putting a little money aside and saying, hey, hell, I'll buy this random comic I find. I'll pay a little bit towards a Patreon. I'll get involved and just support somebody's artwork, put it in my collection. Paintings are a great example of that. You buy random paintings in a gallery exhibition, in 3 years' time they make it to the bloody Turner Prize. Suddenly you've gone from I spent £100 on a painting to I have a painting in my house which is worth millions, almost accidentally. And that's not a real world experience, by the way. I've never bought a painting at random from someone. But what I'm saying is this seems like a way better investment and more fun. Wouldn't you have more fun doing it that way? Maybe I'm the wrong audience for it. Because I create, because I make, because I get involved with these things, and because I appreciate the process of creation. But the economy thrives by introducing things people want, right? Purchasables. That's the whole idea behind the economy. Make purchasables. To create purchasables creates jobs. It does it more so when there is no stand-up cost, is the theory behind AI. But what I would say is, if the stand-up cost is there, but minimal, you've got a much more powerful and longevity-based product for yourself and for the economy. It's also maybe a little message to Rishi Sunak, who suggested that some degrees are worth more than others. But, you know, the royals and religions used to do this. They used to invest in art. All their cathedrals, buildings, covered in artwork, which they paid money for. They invested in the original artist. They paid a commission. And now, what happens with all those places? People pay millions to go see them. Millions to witness these things and learn the story of the people who made it. Nobody's going to pay millions to go witness a cathedral covered in AI art. Because they know how it was made. It was made with a couple of computer clicks. The dramatic story of it all. We care more about things which are made when there is a story behind it. And by removing the artist, you remove the story behind it. So you'll have a better, longer lasting investment if you just spend a little investing in artists. That's all I'm saying. I feel like the comment section will be a nice trash fire because I mentioned AI art, but this is the reality of it. I think if you're going to invest, you should invest in the idea makers, not just the idea of products. Let me know what you think in the comments. Talk to you guys later. Bye.